What's going on, y'all? It's iFOMO Hard. Hopefully that's not picking up the music too bad and you guys can still hear me. I'm doing a little test here. See how this works out. Good morning and welcome back. This is FOMO Fantasy NFL, and here is our Week 3 starting lineup and changes that we've made so far. So it's Thursday morning. This is the time you really got to get on it. You can pick up your waivers immediately. There's no waiting. So I did make a move this morning. I actually picked Stefon Diggs back up, which I had traded in that big Bell trade that I had in order to get Beckham. So Bell's gone, and dude's 0-2 now, and he's worried about Bell. So it was an excellent trade, I think, on my behalf. It was smart to get rid of Bell. Behind that quarterback, it's not going to work out there. They're just going to stack the box, and he's going to have a really long season. He may have some good games. I'm sure he will, but, man, dude's going to get hurt. So we picked Stefon Diggs back up out of that trade. I also saw that the Minnesota Vikings defense was sitting there. So when I went and looked at their schedule, they have some really easy games coming up. I mean, Oakland, they could own Oakland. Chicago, they could own. The Giants, they could own. Philly, they could own. Detroit, they could own. Kansas City, nah, they're not going to own Kansas City or Dallas. Washington, they can own. Denver, they can own. Maybe not so much Seattle. Detroit may be another one when they're at home again towards the end of the season. The Chargers are going to be more difficult, and the Packers. So I don't plan on running with Minnesota all year, but to have Minnesota and Chicago on the same roster for me is a pretty good deal, because what it allows me to do is in Week 6. Let's see what the Week 6 bye. So Bears have a bye in Week 6. Let's see who the Vikings play. They play Philly in Week 6. So not the best matchup, but I would have rather seen like maybe versus Chicago, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on in New York either. Maybe they could explode, but last year I know that the Vikings were doing pretty well. So I'm actually starting Minnesota this week against Oakland rather than the Bears against Washington. I'll probably, last time I did this, I regretted it, but we're going to see how it goes. I may change that. But we do have an empty running back position. I need to clear that up, and soon. Gordon's still not with team, so he's not eligible this week. Hopefully he comes back. He'll be full strength, and I'll get him mid-season. A premier running back with no mileage on him this season. That's going to be nice. Now, Philip Lindsay, I did pick up. Someone kind of like, I FOMO'd into that one. Now that I have him, I don't know. If you look at the stardom and sit-ems, they're actually saying to sit Lindsay. I'm not so sure. I mean, they're playing Green Bay. It's not like, the toughest defense there. I would lean towards McCoy, who looks like he just taking a day off maybe. But going against this defense here, I'm not feeling really, really confident in that. Them playing Baltimore. Baltimore may come out and just really go hard against the passing game, which may allow the running backs to get open. So while Baltimore is a tough team to play, McCoy is definitely not off the table. But those are my choices there between Lindsay and McCoy. There really was no one else available that I could see that. I had Hyde. I dumped Hyde so that I could get the Vikings. I really liked the Vikings defense, and I was really surprised that it was sitting on the waiver wire like that. That's kind of like a fine like Mahomes was last year. I didn't even have to trade for them. Last year I had to make a trade to get Chicago. So now I have two of the best defenses in the league on my team. Although the points so far for Chicago don't show it, they are a very stout defense. And I think later on as time goes on and they're learning these teams, you will see Chicago step up. Minnesota has that block kick, which gave them a little extra points. And let me see, 3 fumble recoveries, 6 sacks to Chicago's 7 sacks and 1 interception. Minnesota has 6 sacks and 2 interceptions and 3 fumble recoveries, plus a kick block. So I'm going to go with the hot team this weekend, especially against Oakland. Let's see. see. Obviously going to start Saquon. I don't care who we're playing, who they're playing against. Goff is, don't know yet, against Cleveland. I could start Stafford against Philadelphia, and I'm tempted to. Jones was on the wire, their receiver there in Detroit. As I've said before, I like to handicap quarterbacks with receivers, like Goff with Kupp. But being they're playing Cleveland this week, and Cleveland's been pretty good on defense so far, I have a little bit of a concern. So I'm not quite sure I'm going to run that combo there. I don't really have another choice. I guess I could do Stafford, start Stafford as my QB, and put Diggs out there against Oakland, which may, it's a viable play. It really is. Diggs hasn't had, he had 1 touchdown, 86 yards, and 3 receptions. Is that overall? This is the projection. These are stats. Last 2 weeks. Okay, so those are his numbers. Not sure yet. I got to run Ingram. I think they're going to dump a lot of passes off. Just let him do his work. I could start Ebron against Atlanta, but I think Ingram is the obvious choice here. Beckham's going to start as long as he plays. Brown's going to start as long as he plays. I got to go with my superstars on this. And Gould, I really don't have another kicker to substitute him. So really, the only choice here, the only decisions that got to be made is, Minnesota. I'm going with. It's basically that running back position. And at this point, I'm leaning towards Lindsey, even though they're saying to sit him. I disagree on this one. Let's see who they're saying to start this week. So Aaron Jones versus Denver. Denver's got a stout defense. I'm really surprised they're saying that. I don't know. I disagree with that. Carson versus New Orleans. Mack versus Atlanta. Mack has been pretty decent running back. He looked really good last year. He's owned in like almost 100%. He was like 99.8% of leagues owned him. I tried to make a trade for him, and no one wanted to do it. But, I don't think Mack's superstar status. He's a good running back, maybe above average, but he's not superstar status yet. Sony Michel against the Jets. Sony Michel has done really well for me in the past. I picked him up last year. He was great until I think he got hurt. So, Mark Ingram, not a Mark Ingram fan. Maybe with the Ravens, something else will come up, but he's the number 2 now, guys. But Kansas City is giving up, it says 6 yards a rush. So Ingram may be a good start, and you may be able to find him on the waiver. I'm not sure. They're saying sit James White. I had James White. I'm not sure he's even on the team anymore. Let me see. Did I bail on him? Yeah, I did. So I dumped White. They're saying sit Lindsey. I'm not sure I agree with it. List him as a sit him last week. Lindsey rushed for just 36 yards and is now even in an even timeshare with Royce Freeman. In fact, the two backs split snaps and touches almost down the middle against the Bears. The Packers have an improved defensive front and are playing at home, so don't consider a flex option. So Lindsey, maybe not so much. Drake, I dropped. Tariq Cohen, not touching him anymore. And Duke Johnson, not even sure who he is. See, the emergence of Carlos Hyde. But I'm not a big Hyde fan. I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake on that. I should have maybe kept Hyde. Let's see what I did. Yeah, I dropped Hyde so I could pick Diggs back up. I don't think I'd be able to get Hyde back on my team because once you drop him, I think he's off limits for like 24 hours. You got to let someone else get him. So posting this video is kind of dangerous for me because, to be quite honest, maybe Hyde was the better player here between Lindsey and Hyde. Let's see if we can get him back. I just dropped him this morning, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let me see. We'll go running backs. And, Peyton Barber's on there. Did somebody already grab him? Looks like someone grabbed him already. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That was fast. And Royce Freeman's on the... Oh, no, he's right there. So let's see. See if we can add him again. Yeah, see, he's on the wire until the 21st, and it's 19th. So that's 2 days away. If I make this video, someone's going to grab him for sure. So now I'm even wondering if I shouldn't even put this out. But you know what, guys? Big question. It's probably a dumb move. Someone will notice in the league anyway. I just didn't really want to draw attention to it. So let's go ahead through the startums and situms. All right, so that was the running backs. Let's see what they're saying about wide receivers. That's really what I want to look at too. So they are saying start Chris Goodwin versus the Giants on the Bucks. He's averaged over 20 points his first 2 games. Decent. Kenny Golladay against the Eagles. Now, this goes back to why I wanted to start. If they think you're going to start Kenny Golladay, let's see what they say about quarterbacks. Maybe Matthew Stafford is the start this week. I mean, again, I was leaning towards him. All right, so Dak, everybody talks shit about him. He's been playing excellent this year. That line, they just protect everything. Russell Wilson against New Orleans, Matt Ryan, Josh Allen, and Jameis Winston against the Giants. Interesting. So they're saying sit Goff. That sucks. Sit Dalton. That sucks. Sit Carr, sit Trubisky, and Brissett. I'm really surprised. Jacoby's a decent quarterback. I just don't know why they're always talking shit. All right, so let's go back to wide receivers. And this is according to NFL.com. I mean, these things don't always play out. All right, so the start of the week is Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Fitzgerald, Lockett, and Moore from the Panthers. To sit Mike Williams from the Chargers. Yeah, he was kind of injured, I think. Josh Gordon versus the Jets. With Brown being there, man, Gordon's not going to get shit. Gordon's going to play a minimal role now, I think. There'll be games where they have to go after him because AB is going to get double teamed, and I see that they're not going to charge him in that rape case. I saw just the headline, so it looks like he's okay on that. Terry McLaurin, I guess that's how you say it, versus the Bears. Robbie Anderson versus the Patriots, and Jarvis Landry versus the Rams. These guys, they say, do not start. It's a shame because Landry's actually a good receiver. I think he's going to have to get traded to another team. Let's see what they're saying about defenses. Yeah, start the Patriots. Start anybody against the Jets, honestly. Start everybody against the Dolphins, too. So the Cowboys and Patriots, those are no-brain. Those are streams. You can stream defenses when you have matchups like this. They're probably already taken in my league and in your league. But if they're not, and you don't have a good defense, streamline the teams that are playing the garbage, like the Jets and the Dolphins. Let them take the trash out, and you reap the rewards. The Bills versus the Bengals. Bills have looked pretty good on defense this year so far. And the Packers versus the Broncos, man. That one I'm surprised about, but I guess they really did. I didn't know they built them up that well. Let's see. And when I say that well, I mean the Packers defense. Sit them. The Ravens versus Kansas City. Oh, my God. Sit everybody against Kansas City this year. Pittsburgh versus the 49ers. That's crazy when the 49ers have a better defense than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers suck. Or the Steelers have, I'm sorry, the 49ers have better offense than the Steelers. That's unbelievable. New Orleans versus Seattle. Sit New Orleans, of course. They don't really... Those are high-scoring games most of the time. And Denver. They're saying sit Denver against the Packers. I mean, are the Packers that good this year? They're saying start the Packers and sit the Broncos. So maybe they are. We'll see. Time will tell. I'm still stuck on last year. I don't really care about kickers so much. Let's look at tight ends real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. Start of the week, Ingram versus the Bucks. I got him. Definitely going to start him now. Vance McDonald versus the 49ers. You might be able to find him. He's with Pittsburgh. Might not be a bad option. Now they're going to be looking to dump passes off underneath. Greg Olsen versus the Cardinals. I saw someone grabbed him this morning in my league. Darren Waller versus the Minnesota Vikings. Not quite sure I know about him too much. Sit of the week, Ebron. Again, because of Jack Doyle being there. With Andrew Luck, Ebron was blowing up last year. I'm sure Ebron must have been crying when Luck retired. TJ Hawkinson versus the Eagles. Chargers tight end. They say sit him. Tyler Eifert versus the Bills and Kyle Rudolph versus the Raiders. Those are all sit-ems. So, like I said, I don't really care about the kickers too much, but that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the content here. This way, and make sure you hit the bell button. You got to hit that bell button for notifications. Set them to on. This way you'll be notified, be one of the first to be notified whenever we go live or post a video. So guys, I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate your time. If you want me to review something else or a player, you have any questions, you want to know my opinion on any matters NFL related, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'll try to do another video either later today or more into the weekend. Maybe after tonight, I'll make another video and we'll try to put something out for Sunday. All right, so in the meantime, guys, thanks for hanging out. Again, like and subscribe. This is iFOMO Hard with FOMO Fantasy Sports, and it's a wrap.